bad. But I tapped into this thing. I didn't even know how to do it. So I was probably the one messing up the static and all that. But anyway,
You here now?
I'm here and I'm grateful. And I give thanks to all of y'all that do what y'all do. I've been working to try to get enough courage up to try to start my own little content. However, I'm still waiting to see which way we turn in this boat, because some people still too confused for me, right? And I don't get the confusion no more. We know who we are. We know what has happened. If you want to claim that you some type of American or U.S. citizen, then that means that you are a part of Washington, D.C. And what is Washington, D.C., Chief? District Columbia, right?
It's closed down now.
And it's closed down. So what are we constantly arguing about when we talking about who is who? We just need to stand up and change our language and forget what these so-called white people or any other ignorant mind is constantly trying to, not predict, but, the narrative. They're still going with that narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It's straight bullshit.
You got to remember that the number one tool was divide and conquer. The more divisive they make us between ourselves, the more control they have over our movement. And the unity comes in when you watch, if you watch nature, when the tribes are about to join together or the clans, first they huddle up amongst each other first, right? It's what you're looking at culturally. All of the cultures is first they go over to themselves, right? Nature gonna do that. They're gonna naturally make them gravitate to the people like them in the local area. So you'll see, like in New York, you'll see the separation of the different Spanish speaking groups. Because the Puerto Ricans don't live exactly with the Dominicans. They might live neighbor to each other in buildings, but they know that this is the Puerto Rican building, and this is the Dominican building, and this is the Mexican building. So they all speak Spanish, but they all still come, and they first, before they can spread out with the unity, they first have to come together with themselves to say, okay, now let's assess what we have here. But we not realizing what's taking place, so we missing the opportunity to do a self-assessment for the benefit of our community, because they got everybody so individually focused on me, myself, and I, that nobody's looking at, okay, first we all come together among ourselves, and now you in a position where your unity have its maximum impact, right? Because the unity can't have a maximum impact until we are aware of who we are on the land and where we at. Right? That's the same thing that Sun Tzu say about knowing how to move your troops. So you seeing these things taking place by nature. While we are mobbing up, we tribing up, we clicking up, we posseing up, because we getting ready to ride out, but we don't know that we getting ready to ride out. But we all feel it. So we just behaving in a certain manner before we go out and start putting the new world in order.
Yeah, that's exactly what's taking place. And what I see, I'm in California, in the Bay Area. So what I see is a lot of people who don't look like me. They running scared for whatever reason. And I try to be, I try to calm people down, and be like, we've been through worse things than this election that all y'all seem to be worried about.
Yeah, that's right.
So I just want to know when we gonna start saying this is Turtle Island. Stop calling this shit America, and this type of thing. When we gonna start just changing our language? We're not black. Let's get that off our tongue, please. Now we know it's ours though. It's our nickname. Look, I tell people all the time it's our nickname.
I like to say I'm organic, original Mississippi Clay Dirt Walker.
I know. Yes, you do say that.
So
And I consider myself organic to the land as well. But I'm working to get us not back anywhere, but to reinstate what our ancestors have already put together for us. Did they not
Mhm.
call this place Turtle Island?
Hey, and that's
So
why
what?
this race don't go to the swift. It go to the slow and steady. That's what my mama told me. That's that old totem. Slowly
Yes.
walking up on the finish line while that rabbit running around in circles playing games. He could have won the race.
By
He
now.
just couldn't find the finish line.
Just real quickly, if you have asked a question, I might have to drop you down because we have people waiting in the back, and we need to free up some space. Does
Thank you,
anyone?
Sister Dot. Okay, no, I just really had comments. You see, I'm going on and on and on, but I want to
No,
tap in
no, no.
because I'm
Don't
so
apologize.
grateful for you all. I'm so
We love
grateful
to
for
have
you
you.
all.
We love to have you. We appreciate you. Don't ever apologize, and definitely start your channel. Nothing to be afraid of. Let us know. We will definitely support. So
Sometimes can't take it because I'm kind of raw. You know what I mean? My thing is get the message out, and some of our people not listening. So over the years, I've become a lot raw, and I just turned 54, so I'm older now. So and one of my things is that I always say, I'm not here to stick a titty in your mouth. I'm not here to suckle you. I'm here to tell you the truth and
right.
set your mind free so you can wake up from your comatose state. That's my message. Period. And a lot of people can't take it because I'm just real like that. Because it's enough of the problems and the bull BS going on. We need realness right now. We need truth. We've been bathing in lies so long. It's time for us to get the truth out and get clean and get right. I can't figure out why is it taking us so long. If it's in our DNA of
Lazy.
who we are, why is it taking us so long to awaken?
Cognitive dissonance.
Right? And
Thank
plus,
you
they give us so much
for
to do that
this.
we can't get it right.
His phone
Yeah.
is getting ready to die, so we want to get people to ask their question before his phone goes
I
off. So
don't think
basically,
I'm gonna make it. I got less than one
yeah,
percent.
let's. This is
Oh,
Oh, let
what's
Senna
up,
get her
brother?
question and go ahead, Senna.
yes.
I just want to come out and say I'm happy to see.
Following what we know in the culture as the redemption process. It's the blueprint that the ancestors left for us to follow in order to reclaim everything back at the close of the age. I've been following it. Now we about to see the materialization of the work that's been done in everybody's face, but they didn't know what they was looking at,
No, I hear
right?
you, Rod. I'm
But
chiming in. I'm just chiming in. I'm gonna finish it and be real quick because I want to spare everyone else's time. Everyone else is important. I agree. So this wasn't directed at just me. I've just analyzed our people over the time. We are a people that need to be you know what I'm saying? I'm a listener of, I actually apply. I buy land. I do things with the land, and I'm teaching people with the land how to get the land and what to do with the land, how to cultivate the land. That's my part. But everyone is, our
Is
people,
somebody
from what I'm
talking? Because
seeing,
I
were
can't
misguided.
hear.
Well, our people are
Every
misguided.
now and then I hear.
Yeah, our people are misguided. You know
You
what I'm
can hear
saying?
Mike.
That's just what I've gathered from a whole. It's not to say that everyone's supposed to be on the same page, but I'm seeing that, like Claude Anderson had to do for the people. He had to actually create the blueprint for the economics. So I'm saying our people are and we're still stubborn. We still don't even follow that. So I mean, it's only going to be for the people that are going to follow the blueprint. Is all I'm saying. And for those of us that are out here that are willing to open up a book, might just need that blueprint.
mhm. Well, I do plan on writing some books, but right now I'm not at the part where I had the luxury to sit down and focus on writing a book. But I understand what you're saying because we do need guidelines to follow, um, and
Yeah, and
we
I
will.
appreciate your time and your work, brother. So I mean, I know many of us do, but I just know that a majority of the information that we all gather comes from the books. And if we're the ones that are cracking open the books, I'm saying we possibly need books that we can follow the blue. I know, and we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be able to put it together after all this information. We're supposed to gather it and call on ancestors. We're supposed to. But I'm saying, from what I'm seeing, it's not happening fast enough. Maybe that's just in my vision.
Well, it ain't gonna never be fast enough until you realize how fast it's really happening. You got a lot to change. When the system change over, you just not saying, okay, this is a new system now. It don't work like that. That's setting yourself up for failure. You have to go through the old system to find what's usable. You have to systematically take all the stuff that was detrimental to the people out of the equation. It's a step-by-step process, and it's not going to happen in no 30 minutes. So the simplest thing, what I've been telling people, is to start building family bonds. Call a member of your families that you know you related to, because you done seen their mama at the funeral and their uncle, they sisters them at the funeral. You ain't never had a chance to talk, so y'all don't even know each other. Building the family bond is the beginning of waking us up. Because when we start talking to each other, we all got pieces to the family tree that we need to be aware of too. It's not just the people across the land, it's the family too. Because you got family members that people in the family can't stand because they did so much dirt. And then you got the family members that everybody loved because they tried to do right no matter how much dirt was thrown on them. You don't know them, so you can't take sides without talking to both of them. Right? So that's the beginning steps of the reconstruction of everything, is to rebuild the family from the inside out.
Right. I appreciate them the words, my brother. And like I said, I'm always going to do the work, and I know there's many of us that's going to do the work. And I greatly appreciate you, brother, because I've gained so much just more awareness. So I'm gonna spare everyone else time. I'm mute up, but I appreciate all y'all time on the panel. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up, brother. Yeah, that was some good stuff he was talking.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Wait, so YM, let Dark Angel get his question in, because we got Commission in the building. Happy New Year, Commission. And I want to get his question in, and then we're going to close it out because Rod has to go.
Commission,
hey.
Peace. Rod. Oh, you can hear me? Okay, yeah. Peace, Rod. It's good to,
Peace, brother.
Talk to you, brother. I got a question for you. So I went out there to Philadelphia. I was there in person. I got to meet Empress Redbird and all that. And when I was there, I listened to you a lot. I would tell the brother that was talking earlier, you have a real long length of work that's online with you and Young Elder that I've never heard you really, you stand pretty tall on what you say, bro. It's not really that confusing for me. But I was wondering, with everything with Empress Redbird, is everything cool with her? Like when I was out there, the amount of people that you could say, I don't know, it's like a lot of agents was there, bro. I don't know what else to say. Like I could feel it.
There's gonna be some agents. That's why I don't congregate much. Because I already know they're going to be there. She knew they was going to be there too, but she wanted them to be there because she wanted them to see her sit into the tribal political sacerdotal seat on the land.
Once
they seen that, it was over with for them. Yeah. That's what you call queen checkmate, mother.
You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of blew me away. You know what I mean? The amount of people there, people coming up to me that was like, I'm coming from New York and I'm down in Philly, and people asking for, break change with them. And you know what I mean? I'm feeling real uncomfortable because as brothers, you trying to do certain things. So one thing that you don't talk about, but I would like to hear you talk about it more, is the amount of, you talked about it before, espionage and all that, but it's crazy out here, bro. Like the stuff that they got going, it's when you're talking about New York, I'm still here in New York. I'm here in Harlem, and everywhere you go, you got people with the Section 702 crazy shit. You got everybody's on that shit. And not to mention, you got to realize there's a war going on here. They're trying to gentrify New York and run all over the South.
They already did.
Yeah, there's a few. It's not too many. I'm a Black American. I'm from here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean when I say Black American, so-called. Yeah, but I'm just saying, I'm from the land, and most of these people ain't. and the immigrants and all that here, whether it be African or whatever, man, a lot of them are all down with that. It's just a crazy situation out here. If for me, for some of the stuff I go through, you know, if you in the future when you get with young elder and all that, if you could build on that and all, I would really appreciate that. Cause I dig what you're saying about you said something before about being in your cave, and I was like, you was like being in your cave and the amount of safety to a degree, and it's like almost a process that you have to go through, that you got to kind of stay out of the way right now because they out here, bro, and it's.
I don't really care because I want the smoke, but I'm not allowed to go get the smoke.
Yeah, I believe what you're saying, bro. Like if we're gonna fight them, if we're gonna take them to bloody war, then all they're gonna do is get an extension, and that's not something we need to do. So I'm always listening, brother. I'm listening always, brother, and I appreciate your wealth of information, bro. And you helped me through a lot of things, brother, and I appreciate you. I don't want to talk to death. I just wanted. It was good to speak to Rod. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, thank you.
With us tonight. Thank you. Make sure you like the stream and support the brother.
Oh, yeah.
His Cash App. I'm gonna pin it again. Chief Pondy X Cash App. I'm getting ready to drop it in the chat and then I'll pin it. Commission. What's up?
How you doing, fam?
New Year.
Peace.
Peace and love. Yeah, I just came on to greet, Sister Freedom and yourself and the host, and I was sitting back looking at what was being said. And all I can say is whatever the case may be, outside of whatever we think we are, what we say we are, family, United States, they really don't care. So what we need to be trying to do is build some bridges. Build some bridges. Everybody that say they intellectually inclined, we just got to build some buildings and some bridges, between each other, so to speak. So honest to, the Native Americans, if they claim they that, some people don't use that term. We know that. Honest to, those who say they Hebrews, who say they whatever, I'm still on the same vibration. And honest to the host, I caught a little bit of what he was saying, and honest to you, fam. And like I say, honest to Sister Freedom and yourself, Sister Dots.
And Nisha on here too. And Nisha up there, she just been quiet, but she there. And Dulcie was here too.
All is well.
So I'm gonna ask you something real quick, Kamisha, because I know we can ready to go out. And what you foresee for 2025, or what? Matter of fact, we can get you on this so you can explain that to us one day.
Let's do that. Let's bring Commission back for his own show.
Commission. Yeah.
He stayed ready.
Too. Yeah, he stayed ready. He's just like Rod. He's ready to fight.
I like his energy.
Yes, Commission don't play.
Just be trying to bring us together. That's all. But I ain't got no problem coming forth, and giving a measure. I'm more concerned with really doing something as opposed to just right. Because I believe in activity instead of us, going back and forth on the information. What can we do to bridge the gap, to work with each other? You know what I mean? For 2025, because it's a time of paradigm shift. And we should be able to pick up
our greatest, our latest and greatest. We need to just, like we have Martin Luther King Day Monday, we should really force to have Malcolm X Day and, Dr. Ben Day, all of our greatest. We should celebrate their.
You know why we don't got those days?
Why?
Because we ain't made those days.
That's why
we supposed to be celebrating them whether they want us to celebrate them or not.
Right, but we gotta spread the word so it can happen. Like having an event for that particular person. That we just lost Dr. Walter Williams, broke my neck, my heart.
Look,
great friend.
Kwanzaa started in a one little old community.
Right.
But it started.
Yes. And we got some
And you
great
know what? Sometimes we
people.
think that we have to have a big group of people for things to be successful, and that's not true. If you want to, you honor and memorialize somebody, and you have 10 pure souls, for example, or 10 people with good, pure, solid intentions, they're going that energy and those manifestations are going to be a hell of a lot more effective than 100. Right? Give me 10 quality over 100 trash. But
No, I
sometimes we
understand
think
what
that
you're
we need everybody to do certain. No. And so congregate, like you said, you're right. Absolutely, it's very important. Memorialize, uplift. It don't need to be but it doesn't need to be everybody for it to be a
I
thing.
mean, just put it
You
out there.
know?
My thing is to put it out there, which even suggesting that this was what we should do. Now, whoever
Yeah.
doesn't participate, that's on them. But whoever wants to participate in something, what I'm saying, come on your Facebook page, give Malcolm a shout out, give some
Mhm.
of our greatest a shout out, Dr. Sabi, everything that he, offered. I'm just saying, come on
Yes.
your Facebook page, if nothing else, come on and just give a shout out. We don't seem to do anything, so that's something that we really should promote starting in 2025. Now, whatever we do personally, like Doc is saying, if we want to get together with our family and tell a little story about the person, educate about the person, that's cool. But to promote, what I'm saying, that we should be at least shouting out. We got some great people that did great things for us.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. Yes. So, they should be shouted out.
Who do you think is a good choice for a Dr. Sabi show?
Oh, you know
Any
what?
suggestions,
What's his
Kamisha?
name?
Rob?
Mariah Carey's old boyfriend. What's his name? Oh, husband.
McKinney.
Nick Cannon could be good. He could.
No. I'm saying to talk about Dr. Sabi on this show.
Oh, I thought you were saying
I'm
like
saying any suggestions, Kamisha? Any
Yo,
suggestions?
Rod, your boy, your Black Magic got that guy. He's real nice, bro. I can't remember his name. He's a young fellow. He goes in on the nutrition and all that.
You talking about Yaki Awaken?
I think so. Yeah, he's
I
dope.
seen him on
But
somebody.
I don't know what his knowledge of Satan is, so I can't.
Yaki, you got to pay some bread.
Yeah, he started on the Sabi.
And we don't pay guests. So
I'll go down to 125th Street tomorrow and
that's
see what I
all
can find.
right. You heard? 'Cause he comes in anytime, like any and every time. It's never a problem. It's never charged. It's never anything. We don't pay any of our guests. And so we always give major salute and respect to that, because people don't have to give up their time. Because time is the most valuable currency. You can't get a discount code on your time. You can't get a refund back on your time. Time is the most valuable currency, right? So when people give of themselves just so freely, you know what I mean? That's what's up. So please support us, support Rod Hayes. Oh, I didn't even put your thing in the chat. Let me pin his Cash App.
I think that was 19 Keys, Archangel, that you seen him on. I think it was 19 Keys. You might have seen them on 19 Keys.
Yeah, Yaki been on there too.
Oh, on 19 Keys, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I thought I seen him. I've been trying to get Dr. Wesley Muhammad. He got a little information, but I don't know what he has on Dr. Sabi. But Dr. Wesley Muhammad has a lot of nutritional stuff.
Yes, he does. So we're gonna go around. We're gonna shut this down. Thank you for your time, big bro. We thank you to all our guests and the fam that came up, showed love. We had over 800 people in the building at one time. And so yeah, you already know what it is, bro. We really appreciate you so much. Commission, welcome back, fam. Right? We're gonna have Commission come up and have a show as well. The ladies came out tonight on a panel, right? That's major. That feminine energy was in the building. And we appreciate y'all. We really appreciate y'all.
When you get a chance, make sure you give an update on how Taj is doing.
Oh, I can call Taj. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
that would be great. That'd be great. He been kind of out of the picture for a minute. He
been working. Taj been working on different houses, because he built houses and everything. So Taj just been working. I haven't heard anything negative. But I talked to Sabir, and Sabir had got in touch with him because people were saying that he was under the weather, and Sabir said that he's fine.
No, he's got some, he's getting some work done on his eyes. He's healing. He's getting, the sisters are taking care of him though. They hold him down. He good. I mean,
and I'll call Naila tomorrow if
that call order will be appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. And now, like I said, I'll call Naila tomorrow to see if anything, any negativity or anything concerning his health.
Okay. All right. Yo, the chat, you guys were so amazing. So amazing. Dark, okay, so y'all coming in heavy. I ain't gonna read all your names, but to our mods that was here, to the cousins that was here, that was hanging out with us tonight, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all the best.
Absolutely.
Somebody needs to back chat playing. It's a lot of back chat. So I think
it's not me.
I'm not sure. But yeah, all right. Listen, Miss KO, you could drop down.
Take it from the top. Roll the corn out.
Stop, man. Hey. All right. Let's get it back going then. All right, because this is going to bring my first question. That was crazy, son. Yeah, they let us know, hey, we on there right, we on there behind. All right, so pretty much I memorized it. What it says is that the Smithsonian Institute was set up by the government as a part of a law, and that President James Polk signed it into law in 1846. Now, this is about around the time before the Civil War. This is about around the time they re-implement the Black Christian codes. Why would the government be involved in setting up a museum to diffuse? It's the word they use. It sounds like a code, crazy. To diffuse the information. Why would the government be interested in setting up a museum? And then later, LeBron James and other artists is coming to invest in this place. Go ahead. But it's the first. We're gonna get more deep, but that's just the first question starting out.
Well, let's start with the name, Smithsonian.
Okay.
It's a compound word. The first word is Smith, a maker,
okay,
a molder, a bender, somebody who works with a material. He's a smith, a blacksmith, a goldsmith, a silversmith, right? The second part of the word is Sony. Sony comes from the root Sophie, meaning wisdom, right? So as curators of wisdom, what is they trying to do? So the first thing you got to understand about the Smithsonian is a museum is supposed to be a historical display of ancient artifacts. Right. The thing about the Smithsonian is they had to, as they say, be wiser than all the beasts of the field. So they had to use the deception to conceal our ancestry that's found in the artifacts. If they don't conceal the ancestry found in the artifacts, they claim that we came from Africa is blew out the water with a nuclear blast. Here we talk about the giants. My family on my father's side got 7 footers.
Right.
And up. Right? My father used to tell me about his mama brothers. Then my father was taught, my father's 6'7". But as he got older, you shrink. Right? When he passed, he was about 6'5". Now, the reason why that matter, because the giants is part of Mississippian heritage. Your Shaquille O'Neal types.
Oh man.
Right? That's all Mississippian blood all day long.
Big Joe.
Bill. Right. Now, they also are the ones responsible for giving the misdirection about where they finding these tombs. Like they telling us they found Tet tomb in Cairo. But when they discovered it, they dumbasses printed it in the newspaper that they found it in Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. So why are you telling us 2 different things?
Misdirection.
right? Being more subtle than all the beasts of the field, or more cunning, more wise. It's trickery and deception rooted into what the Smithsonian is.
Crafty.
Crafty.
A Smith.
A Smith. Right? So they working a conjure by concealment, while we working ours by exposure. By exposing what's been concealed, now they stuttering. No, we got word from Pops, right?
Yeah. Oh, you got word from Pops? What was that word?
Anybody that's not participating in his fight for freedom, he don't want to see him. Period. If you ain't part of his freedom fight, don't come talk about I've been there since the beginning BS.
Yeah.
You know, I actually got it posted on one of my pages to make sure people see it. The master teacher that spoke. So now all of the ones that rather go with the dirty government narrative and disregard how they fabricated evidence and misled the public into thinking this man was something he not. He don't want to talk.
Right.
But I told him it was gonna happen. I told him, I said, Malachi not coming back to them Zinjis. He not going back over there. They don't mean him no good. And they actions speak louder than anything they say out their mouth. Which is also part of the Smithsonian cover-up. Because everything that he was exhuming in the United Nuwabian sacred record, in the holy tablets, in the sacred record of Tahuti, the sacred record of Atum Ray, the proper translation of the Torah, the Injil, the Al-Zabur, the Psalms, all of that. He did it all with the ink pen in his hand and the brain in his head. Right? So here he is, we face to face with the beast, and we rooting for him to come home, and you still got people in our community that rather believe the government narrative created by some traitors than to go with the facts. They don't want to hear the facts, they rather hear the gossip. And he ain't messing with them. That's for the record.
Hey, I'm glad.
Remember, anything we put out is public notice. Notice the agent is notice the principal. They all been notified.
Yeah, the cookie is crumbling. Like we knocking them down. We nailing them every time we nail right, hit right on the nail every time we have.
He literally said he'd be home soon.
Yeah, it's gotta happen now.
Yeah, so we know he don't just be barking. He ain't telling us that in 2005.
This is the time.
You know what I mean? He didn't say he'd be home soon until like last year sometime.
I what I think is gonna happen. I think since Larry got Larry got working this way, Doc, then they're gonna be Jeff. Jeff gonna get out right after that because this is a military operation against us since the beginning. Even Smithsonian Institute is a military operation. Why the government signing a law into about a museum? Why you got to have a law? And then you got stuff where you can't even go and see. And then they got most of they showing you the first women and man, like the oldest woman and man, like even at Homo already, they showing you that they was over here. In the Smithsonian Institute, they show you that they was over here, and they show you that they show you that part that they were black people, dark skinned people that was over in America. They got the actual statues of them in the Smithsonian Institute. So it's like some of the stuff. If you know what you know, it's like if you walk up in that raw and you start looking at stuff how it's placed, you'll say, okay, I know, I see what they telling me. But for the average person that walk in there, they looking at slavery, they looking at this and that. It's like a different eye. So could you go in on that a little bit, like having that eye to be able to code read how because they alchemists and they got to display their alchemy in order for everybody to see. If you go alchemist, your alchemist got to be displayed. So when you go up in there and see how they got it displayed, what gives you the advantage being able to read how they got that display lined up?
Well, the first thing you got to understand is all warfare is based on deception.
Yeah.
All right. So, in order to hold the narrative of deception that we from somewhere other than home,
Yeah.
right, then they have to tell their version of the story, but they also got to suppress anything that will go against their version.
Right.
The I to see, that's something you develop over time, and you see them doing the same thing over and over. See, we only talk about the Smithsonian over here.
Right.
We ain't talking about the artifacts in France. We ain't talking about the artifacts in England. We ain't talking about the artifacts in Italy, Portugal, Spain, and all of the rest of the countries of Europe that conceal artifacts under the pretense of curators of museum artifacts.
Right.
They got to control the narrative. Even in controlling the narrative, our ancestors left what we call markers.
Mm-hmm.
So when they try to conceal something, but it got a marker with it, it got a certain glyph on it.
Mm-hmm.
They know what a lot of the glyphs mean, but some of the glyphs they can't figure out what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when you read hieroglyphics, you get to parts where they don't know the actual literal translation of what that symbol is. So they give you what the closest thing they can explain that they can understand that it means.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The I is part of your awakening process. Mm-hmm. Right? If your right brain not activated, you can miss out. Mm-hmm. That's your mother brain. Mm-hmm. Left brain is your father brain. Mm-hmm. Mother brain control your left side. Father brain control your right side. So even though the mother brain is on the right side, the father brain controlling your right hand. So I'm gonna be my mama's boy, but I'm definitely my daddy's son because I'm gonna use his right hand to slap you straight. I mean, so they have to try to conceal it, but our recognition of who we are, that's part of your genetic memory. I've been talking about genetic memory since '98. When I was locked up, guys used to tell me, ain't no such thing as genetic memory. I said, yeah, it is. Animals even got it, and in animals they call it instinct.
Yeah.
Right? But genetic memory is everything that's on your DNA. You go back 16 grandparents, you got like a couple thousand.
Right.
At least 1,000 and some change.
Right.
18 generations back. So you looking at you drawing all of that information from historical DNA coding from people experiencing events. You can tap into that through meditation and mind focus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so
over there now. All right. Hey, Rod. Now this first clip I'm gonna play, it kind of stimulates the next question, and I kind of figured out the connection with these guys, and then you could go in on there. I'm gonna ask the question based off of this first video.
Roll the coin.
Be interested in helping the Smithsonian Institute to cover up stuff in America, because being the Christianity and all that. Go ahead.
Dude, the first thing about the church is the Roman Empire didn't fall when they told us it did. It just reduced its operations to the clergy and concentrated its power in the Pope of the Vatican. So this is who we've been fighting. We've been fighting the Pope and his Jesuits, right? But the Jesuits is not what people think they are, which is a lot of internal fighting was going on in the Vatican. The Vatican catacombs got all of the most valuable texts from the Alexandria Library so that information is not leaked to the public. They keep it in the catacombs. They also had an underground prison where they kept the lizard bitch at, right? And she was freaking tall as mud. She's about 7-8 feet tall. And she had wings, but she couldn't come up above ground because she can't be the supplanter on the walking the earth. So she was the one under the Vatican that the Pope was taking orders. She got executed in 2018. right? But that's when they breached the Vatican and seized all of the gold and other stuff too. They was concealing from the beginning, from the onset of the church. When Constantine decided to activate the Nicene Council and initiate the church, that was what they call a long game plan. We don't have an understanding of protracted struggle because we think our struggle only go back to 2 weeks ago. So when you're talking about the 6,000-year reign of the devil, the continuation of the Babylonian Empire, that's what they tell us in their book of Daniel. The Vatican, Rome, is a continuation of Babylon, right? And then it's not going to stand once the feet of iron and clay is struck with the stone, a single stone hewn without the hands of a man. What kind of smith is that? Because the only way you can make make one out of stone, which is a Masonic reference of the black stone being a stone that the builders rejected. The builders represent the masculine line, as in building with the tools of the workmen. But what about the one that was created without the hands of the workmen? He's created and molded by the hands of the women, right? But he's still a man. He didn't compromise his manhood as one of the ones who was raised by the women and took on the feminine traits, right? And became interested in men in the wrong way. He still grew up to be a solid man. So they not looking at none of that. And most of us, we ain't mapping the struggle for 6,000 years. We only going back, most of the time, the furthest we go back is 1492. So I always ask people in 1492 when Columbus came, what was we doing in 1491? And that stumped so many people. Because when they asked them what was we doing in 1491, where the records at? Where's the artifacts? And we ain't new over here. Right. The artifacts is all over the lands. You can't mistake these mounds. Well, you can mistake them for hills and mountains if you want to, but we still got ancestors buried in most of these places. Right. That's what makes this holy ground everywhere we go. Because the ancestral burial ground is the proof of our origin over here. Mm-hmm. Right. So the Roman interests is a war-related interest in global conquest and the miseducation of the Negroes.
Mm-hmm. You know what I think, Rod? I think that as far as the Western Hemisphere go, Christianity is only really aimed at the people who they reclassify as blacks, Negroes, or colors. Like they don't really care about nobody else, long as they want that particular people because it's part of the traumatized or what's the mind control or what, I don't know what it is. It's different names you could call it, but it's part of the keep the game going. It's an indoctrination to keep the game going. As far as so, because if the church, so this is my next part to my question. Do you think that Smithsonian Institute might have artifacts that might disprove some of the church's view on things as far as the Bible and everything?
Not only the Smithsonian, they got the museums all over the world that blow that BS out the water.
Go ahead.
You know, then that's the whole thing about controlling the narrative. If you want to conquer people, you can't let them know who they are. Right. As soon as they know that they come from a bunch of soldiers and that somebody got to be a strategist, everybody can't be a frontline soldier. Somebody got to be in the war room formulating the plan and looking through the mist of the BS. Right? So we all, people like me and you, we want to get out there and we want to find where he at, show him to me, let me get rid of him.
Yeah, because we try to.
But when you're dealing with this vast of a reach, we can't go head to head with them like that because they got the military advantage. They got the strategical advantage. They got the logical advantage. So we already the underdog coming into this. Speed of lightning, bolt of thunder. Underdog. So as long as we the underdog, we have to use guerrilla strategy and guerrilla tactics. And that's one of my specialties. That's why I'm here telling people all of the stuff that I'm saying, because it's part of the guerrilla strategy. It's part of using guerrilla warfare of a smaller, less equipped military force to conquer a diabolical, expansive, much larger and well-armed force. So you got to use guerrilla tactics. You can't come in there and think that you're going to fight them face-to-face, man-to-man. They got more troops than you do.
Yeah, more money.
They troops is better trained than your troops. They troops, and half of them have been to war, and the other half of them know how to strategize war. By the time they get to be a sergeant in the army for about 3-4 years of that, they know how to run the troops. All they got to do now is expand their information base, and then that's going to automatically increase their value to the structure. You know, so they have to do this stuff. It's just the whole church narrative, right? You got to remember, the church is the ones who commissioned the Huguenots from France and the conquistadors from Spain and the gentry from England to settle over here. They was never supposed to come over here. We had nothing to do with what they had going on over there until they sent their minions over here to drag us into their conflict. So our remedy is, okay, when we get done taking care of y'all, we're going to have it all, because you shouldn't have never came over here in the first place. Bothering some peaceful people that was minding their business. We didn't have no criminal activity. Right? But they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the first prison was built in Pennsylvania after colonization. They don't want to talk about that. We didn't need prisons. We knew how to deal with each other because we know our nature. They can't control our nature because they not us. So what do? Suppress, subjugate, subdue. Right? Anytime one of us rise up, chopping down. Right? What Marty say? Shell Giant Brown, every time I try to plant a seed, he say, kill it before it grow. Right? So they don't want us to become fully aware of all of the dirt they was doing. But sooner or later, they can run on for a long time, but sooner or later, Rod gonna cut them down. Believe that.
Hey, all right. So this next one is a 2-part clip. It's a 5 clip. So it's gonna be like about 3-4 minutes, but he's gonna break down a lot of stuff. Then I got a couple of stuff written down to add. But from the first video, he talks about them having they over trumped the law. They trumped the law because, like, you know how it's even galactical law that spiritual items and spiritual sites can't be bothered. That's against galactical law. It's even international law that backs that up, right? But these guys can break. Smithsonian Institute can break laws, as specifically with Native American artifacts. Now, why would they? Now, this is my question, Rod. If the Native Americans, they telling us that's in Oklahoma and all these other Native Americans, if they show us on TV, if they the real people, what would be the hide? What would be the hide? It would show, hey, these are the guys you telling the whole world, the original people, which the half of the world know they full of crap, but the guys they telling the original people, wouldn't those artifacts line up with them? Why would they pass a law saying you got to turn this in? If it's in Native American stuff, you got to turn it in the Smithsonian Institute or else. No.
Well, it's not only turning it into the institute. What the guy was talking about when he said he don't trust the Smithsonian is the fact that when all of the museums was ordered to return artifacts, that didn't apply to the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
But it do if it's a government agency, it falls under the Chevron deference, right? But it needs presidential oversight until the government switch over.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of those artifacts from the Smithsonian is going to be at the World Fair. I think it's going to be next year. It's supposed to be this year. But the celebration was moved to next year, too. The 250-year celebration was supposed to be this year, but they moved it to next year. So they didn't have enough time to clean all this BS up.
That's why Trump. Go ahead.
Yeah, they going to get it cleaned up.
Yeah, I got a couple of videos that bag what you saying. Well, Trump is now getting an audit of the whole museum.
Yeah.
And the military is doing an audit of the museum. Now, do you think that Trump is going to come out, because he's still going on, it seems like he's still with the African American black slave narrative as well? I think Trump is a secret white supremacist to me, man, with Ashtar Command.
Whatever he is, he doing what we need him to do.
Yeah, he doing something.
He doing what we need him to do, whether we like him or don't like him. I don't give two shits about him one way or the other.
Go ahead.
But he doing what we need done. That's obvious, right? So. Because you seeing the systematic shutdown of the entire government.
That's right.
And so they just called all of those generals, all of the top brass in the military to an emergency meeting. Trump also announced that there was what they call hostile cities, vulnerable cities, what he called them. It's a series of vulnerable cities that they got to secure. That's why I keep telling everybody the National Guard coming out, but they ain't got nothing to do with us. It got nothing to do with it. It got everything to do with all them people sitting in the boardrooms making decisions that ruin our lives. That's who they coming to get. Judges, lawyers, politicians, aldermen, senators, all of them. Ain't none of them, especially the ones that's members of the Bar Association. Because they believe that the Bar Association is untouchable because they was chartered out of England. They don't even know that the American military took over Buckingham Palace.
Right.
Donald Trump released a statement the other day about the King of England, and they wanted him to bow. He's like, I don't bow. I ain't your subject. You got me twisted. Right? But he mentioned it because people needed to know that, first of all, if you see King Charlie, it ain't him. It's central casting. He been fried. He got fried when his mama got fried. And both of them still supposed to have been here according to their adrenochrome usage. They were still supposed to be in good health, but they was Gitmo. One of them pale-faced trooper channels, right? Showed the death certificate for the Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, and it said on there, executed. And then the location it say Gitmo on her death certificate. I'm like, come on, man, y'all gonna keep falling for this stuff? And they keep falling for the same banana in the tailpipe, but all of us ain't falling for it. But enough of us is to slow the process. Right? But the process is the process, and we gonna make progress, even if we gotta drag some of us along with us.
Hey, Rob, I've been noticing a lot of the celebrities that were supposed to be on these adrenochrome. If you look at them nowadays, they look like they went from looking like a young 20, 30, like if they was 60, they looked at 30 something, young 25. But now, since they ain't got that adrenochrome, man, they look like skeletons. They look like, man, like that dude George, that Mexican dude. They said he was on it, and now he looked like, man, a man, like he almost in the grave. Without that adrenochrome, boy, they started to look real bad.
Fast. But that's part of a ritualistic occupation of spot. You talking about George Lopez?
Yeah, George Lopez. He looked bad, man, since he ain't got that adrenochrome.
I don't know if he was on it or not, but I tell you this: if he was, his days won't be long because everybody that was in on it, I made a post yesterday. I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram, but it's on my Facebook too. About they got a blood drop right across from the Hollywood sign, right? And that's a message. That single giant blood drop is from DC to LA, right? It's a political satire meets theatrical performance. And the one drop doctrine is what's supposed to tie all of the earthborn together. The ones who denied rights of ascension from people playing God, making people in laboratories, that's what's the problem. That's the great debauchery that got us set back and gave the devil 6,000 years to rule, because they had to figure out, now how the hell are we going to clean this genetic spill up? There's so many of them. How did y'all let it get this bad? You was never supposed to let it get this bad. And they let it get bad where it was probably close to 1 million of them. And now, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is. Everybody ain't going to make it. But everybody that make it's supposed to be here.
That happened 3 times, bro. They did that genetical spill 3 times with Adolf Hitler he started it, and then you go back to Yaku, you know what I'm saying, based on, Yaku.
Yeah, the Yaku story was the first.
Yeah.
The use of the genetic engineering to create a slave race.
Yeah.
Right. And the remedy is in the story where he said that he would make these people genetically inferior to rule over superior. But the part we always miss is that he left some melanated people in charge, some dark melanated people in charge. His loyalists is what they was calling them.
That's right.
Okay, so now we got this going on. We know that before 8,400 years ago, it wasn't even an albino on the planet. It wasn't in the genome. The lightest you could get is what we call yellow or red bone, right? But the genetic manipulation continued until they came up with what they came up with. And they also inserted animal DNA and chemicals to offset the carbon, like sulfur. So now you can tell they don't look the same, they don't talk the same, they don't dance the same, they don't sing the same. They couldn't sing, they couldn't dance.
That's why they don't got no rhythm, because they don't got no soul.
But when you see them now, you seeing the ones with that drop of blood. Where they get that booty from? That ain't no Caucasian trait. You know, a pale face trait. Where they get it from? But we don't want to talk about that because we want to dismiss all of them as being the ones against us, when all of them was never always against us. It was more people that looked like us against us than it was pale faces. And most of the slave narratives, it was somebody that looked like us that ran the sweetheart swindle on Big Mama. But you can't tell Big Mama nothing because Big Mama gonna do what she gonna do.
Right, that's right.
And then they gonna drive a wedge between Big Mama and her security nets. So now can't nobody protect her. She on her own. Right? It ain't nothing nobody could do with Big Mama. If Big Mama want to entertain the charlatans, then that's up to her. You can't tell her nothing. All you can do is tell her what the situation is, what they doing, and she got to make her own mind up. Right? But some of them is good at seducing women, even Big Mama. But if Big Mama don't see what's in front of her and who they cutting her off from, then she the one that's choosing to go into that repeat cycle, because it's another cycle that's being repeated that you're not breaking. Right? So when they came with the sweetheart swindle, what do sweetheart swindlers do? They come in, they woo you with gifts and pleasantries, right? And then they turn around, isolate you from your security, from the ones who can see through their bullshit. They isolate you from them. They tell you that they got out to get you. They not out to get you, Big Mama, but she don't always see it because she's in the moment. When you in the moment, you can't see 2 weeks from now. That's why everybody always tell you to live in the now. Just because you living in the now don't mean you can't anticipate based on events what's about to take place. That's called extrapolation of events. It's part of the natural nature of the human to say, okay, last time I went down that street, it was a hole down there. I got 2 options. I can go see if the hole's still there. That'll be inconvenient. Or I can go this other way where I know it ain't no holes and I'm going to get to my destination. But when the money come, snakes come out. Right? When the bank get unlocked, the serpents rear their head because they smell the money. And Big Mama sometimes act like a little girl because she still got an inner child. And that inner child is who the seducer is trying to woo. So the seducer seduced the inner child, which is her innocence, and use it to leverage against her, to subjugate her. And this is where this plantation narrative come from. So now that we got all of the security away from her, now we got to put what we call a decoy in its place. So they go out and they hire these pale-faced plantation managers, and then they give them fornication rights because King George said it, or King James said it was cool. Any way you need to spread that drop, get that drop of blood, you get it. Right? So when they do this, we don't realize that Django was the Cherokee in the house, and Samuel L. Jackson was the Huguenot, or the gentry, or conquistador. He was one of them, coming with his flashy suits. When he first came, he was dressed like Django. But once he got rid of Big Mama, she ain't nowhere around. Where she at? Right? And now he got to try to, who that nigga on that man? That ain't no regular, who that nigga on that man? Right? So we sitting here watching the reenactments through Hollywood. They telling us what's going on without telling us what's going on. If we know history enough, we can see the story play out in theatrical portrayals in Hollywood, in political satire in D.C. They all telling the story. D.C. just responsible for writing it down, and Hollywood is responsible for putting it on the big screen. Right? So it's in all their literature. They wrote about the conquest of the Americas. They didn't come over here friendly. These people don't belong here. Your judges, your lawyers, your prosecutors, your police, all of those are agents of the Crown of England. And their days is numbered.
Hey, Rod. Now this next one, gonna be getting at. Gonna be my question about how they played the teepees. Say we was living in teepees, but let me play these shows that this foreign government, Britain, connected back to Britain, is in control of keeping whatever's under the Smithsonian Institute secret. Why would that be? And why would the government be helping some foreign entity out when they supposed to be against in the Constitution against foreign government?
To us, the United States is foreign, operating on our land. But to the colonizer that came, and later the immigrants that followed, the United States is supposed to be the United States.
Right.
It's Turtle Island. Right? Now, when you realize that they foreign, when you talk about British banknotes, right? You're talking about the Crown of England.
Right.
We're talking the mortuary. It's a place you store dead people.
Right.
Right?